Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 2 cases. The first case is cause number 23CCCR 1156. Second case is cause number 23CCCR 1327. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Tavarius Bache. Mr. Bache, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Bache, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bache, you may put your hand up. How are you doing, Mr. Bache? That's good. Mr. Bache, you are represented in your cases by your attorney, Attorney Lindsay Scott. Attorney Scott, how are you doing?
Good, Ron.
Ms. Scott, do you waive a record in Mr. Bache's cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bache, in cause number 23CCCR 156, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Tavarius Bache, on or about May 14 of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass in a habitation shelter. Now, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? Oh, okay, and are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Okay, Mr. Bache, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to the box that says check nolo contingere. Did you place your initials on this document? And nolo contingere means no contest. The next page of the same document is a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document is titled trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? Do we have his discovery? I also have a document. Okay. I also have a document before me that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Bache, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything she went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Bache, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State I have before me states exhibit 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and states exhibit 2, the proper affidavit, which is in the court's file. State, would you like the office states 1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. States exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Ms. Lindsay, you advised and counsel Mr. Bache, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bache, your attorney, Ms. Lindsay, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation? Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? It was competent? Okay. Okay. You satisfied with the way she handled your case? Okay. All right. Next, so Mr. Bache, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. I would also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for plea of guilty or no contest, state agreed to recommend 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail and court costs. This would be time served judgment. He has credit for 10 days. We ask the tax and retire the court costs. Also to run concurrent with the companion case.
Is that cause number 23CCCR 1327.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Bache, the state is offering that you serve 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. Court costs in this case will be taxed and retired, and that simply means that you'll not be required to pay the court costs in this case because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Bache, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Bache, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. And just for the record, this case will run concurrent with cause number 23CCCR1327. Next case is cause number 23CCCR1327. And in that case, that the state has filed, the information alleges that you, Tavares Bache, on or about July 3rd, 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Mr. Bache, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
No.
Okay, Mr. Bache, I also have before me a document that's titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, set of initials on the line. Next to the box says check no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials TB on this document? On the third page of the same document is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Oh, this one hadn't been signed. Or initials. Y'all have to sign this here.
Discuss.
Lindsay.